Perhaps you're wondering why we're looking at the story of the flood to talk about the deadly sin of wrath, because it would seem that what we're saying is that the wrath in the story is the wrath of God. So it's okay for God to have wrath, but not us. Well, in a way, yes, because God's anger is different than human anger. We see that by the scriptures using different words to describe anger that humans feel and anger that God feels. And God's anger is always related to indignation at unrighteousness, at broken rules, at broken relationships. And wrath as a deadly sin is the act of taking your anger and doing something wrong with it, injuring an innocent person, seeking vengeance. But still, it's a tricky issue to assign to God something that we can't do, kind of blaming God for bad things. And I'm not sure that's what's happening in Scripture, but maybe that's another story for another day. But certainly in this story, it's not the case. Here we see what one does to avoid wrath, because God doesn't get angry at humanity. Even though the story says humanity is filled with violence and thoughts of violence and has just gone off the rails, yet God responds by grieving, by being brokenhearted about the way things have turned out. And so the flood becomes a reboot, start over. And God even pulls back a little and says, I got to find someone to work with. I'll take Noah. Noah is sinful like everybody else, yet is the one that bears the new creation. God's willing to maintain relationship and to try it again and again and again. And that is good news that we can hold on to today, particularly when we feel angry and don't quite know what to do with it. We can understand that there is another way, and that way is the covenant of peace, laying down our arms and taking up relationship that's renewed and reconciled.